I'm sure we'll find out as the months towards the season come closer. And one more bit of Blackhawks news. Ted Dent was named the Rockford Ice Hogs coach. Congratulations to Mr. Dent. It's definitely a good job to have.
Yeah.
But on to the NHL now. The Winnipeg Jets unveiled their new logo. It's pretty cool. What do you think?
You know what you showed me right before the show. It looks pretty cool. I'm very tempted to look into what kind of winter caps they have.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm looking forward to checking out the sweaters personally.
Why not get your own name? That's pretty popular.
I can't stand that. I think that's so. You have one for the Blackhawks, I know.
You can't stand it?
It's not for me.
Well, more reasons for me to wear it all the time.
There we go. The Tampa Bay Lightning, who made a special push last season in the Eastern Conference, gave Steve Stamkos a 5-year, $32 million contract extension, and potential Hall of Famer Chris Osgood, former goaltender of the Detroit Red Wings, is finally hanging up the mask.
Cujo!
Well, I don't know what you can say. I mean, there's a lot of discussion about whether or not Osgood's a Hall of Famer. I personally think he is. You know, you don't win as many games as you do. You don't win as many games as the Red Wings did without a great goaltender. He won 401 games, and I know there were a lot of Red Wings fans who were calling for him to hang up the mask earlier, but let's face it, what he did there as their goaltender was very, very positive for that organization.
And how many cups did they win with him?
They won 2 or 3, I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they won 3. I think they won 2 when he was in net and maybe 1 when he was a backup goalie.
That's what I'm thinking, too. However, I will say this much, 401 wins and 3 Stanley Cup titles. I think he's punched his ticket to the Hall of Fame for sure.
I agree. I don't see why not, you know. He deserves it.
Absolutely.
With the NBA this past week, obviously we're still in the lockout, and there's been a lot of developments this week about NBA stars going overseas. There's been rumors tying Kobe Bryant to the Turkish team Besiktas.
Oh, yeah.
Who signed Darren Williams of the New Jersey Nets.
That team is going to be unbelievable.
So, you know what? If this lockout goes through the season, I don't see why not that these players shouldn't go over. I think all of the big stars will. The NBA owners are expressing their approval for the players to go over because they need to stay in shape. They need to stay in playing shape. You can't be doing that just by playing pickup ball with other NBA stars. You need to be within structured playing. And you know what? Kobe Bryant, I think, was demanding $10 million
something like
a
that,
month.
Yeah.
Because Darren Williams is getting $5 a month. Holy cow. These players are going to be making a lot more money for basically a vacation. Oh, let's go to Turkey and play basketball.
Well, Turkey's the place to go because that's where Iverson played last year.
He did, and he was a big star there.
Absolutely.
And he's actually looking to get back in the NBA. I don't know if you saw that.
I did. And, I mean, he's still a valuable commodity. He's not the same player he used to be.
And he's actually come on saying that he will accept any role that the team gives him.
See, I didn't catch that.
He said that.
He would be a very valuable chip to any organization who might want to use a sixth man off the bench that could shoot. There's your guy right there.
Exactly. He can come in probably better suited for handling the 2-guard, but, who even knows?
One of the interesting things about Kobe Bryant is that you'd be hard-pressed to find somebody who conditions as strongly as Kobe does. He cares very much about his game, very much about his body. And I don't see him sitting out through a lockout. If he's going to play somewhere, he's not. If they can't pay him $10 million a month, he'll take a discount because he wants to play basketball. He wants to keep his body going. Because if he's just sitting down, his body's already starting to break down.
And you know what? Kobe Bryant has something that nearly all athletes do not have. It's that killer instinct. It's the same one that Jordan has. I mean, I'll go on the record and say that he has the same instinct as him. Mm-hmm. Obviously, not certain guys like LeBron James, which is a whole nother thing, but Kobe Bryant will not sit there and not play. He will go over to Turkey and, play his hardest because he knows that there's guys saying that, oh, Kobe Bryant isn't good anymore. And you know what? Right. That is enough fuel in the fire to let him just dominate for, maybe not at the same level, but it's still a very high level.
Agreed. So let me ask you a question. Kobe wins a ring in Turkey. He gets 6 rings. Does that count towards his comparisons to Michael Jordan?
No.
One other thing that we wanted to touch on, I know that you have been following the Chicago Fire lately, haven't you?
I have. Not totally in depth, but I keep my tabs on them.
It doesn't hurt to talk about our local soccer team. They never get enough coverage that they deserve. What have you seen from the Fire?
Well, I noticed this year they haven't won too many games. They've got a ton of ties. I believe they're like 2 wins, maybe 7 or 8 losses, and definitely double-digit ties. But this past weekend, they had a friendly with Manchester United. Everyone knows who Manchester United is.
Of course.
They're
They're the Montreal Canadiens of soccer. They're the Green Bay Packers of soccer.
They're the New York Yankees
of soccer.
They're just the biggest soccer club out there in the world. Everyone loves them. Everyone, there's fans of theirs all over the world. Anyways, Manchester United is in the United States playing friendlies against, other MLS clubs. They played New England and beat them 4-1, and they absolutely spanked Seattle, who isn't too shabby, 7-0.
Mm-hmm.
And then this past weekend, they came into Soldier Field to play the Fire. It was 1-0 in the Chicago Fire's favor going into halftime, which, I think that's a decent victory for the MLS. It's showing that, they're not at such a low level anymore. They're starting to get a little bit of global recognition, besides getting big-name players like Thierry Henry and David Beckham. And you know what? I think that despite them losing 3-1, Man U got 3 goals in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
It's a slight victory, especially for the Fire, who haven't had the greatest season, and for the MLS. And it just goes to show that, along with the women's showing in the World Cup this past month, that soccer is slowly on the rise in America, which has been said within the past 4 years, I would say.
Yeah.
Look out for soccer.
It's just interesting. You mentioned the World Cup, and that was a big deal. Everyone was following it. Everyone loved the story about Abby Wambach and what she did. She's on the cover of Sports Illustrated recently.
And, I was actually absolutely appalled by a lot of the reception about the Women's World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, a lot of things I would see on Facebook. Why am I watching women's sports? Why do I care about women's sports?
Because it's because they're talented athletes that are playing for your country.
I'm saying that these people are saying it in a mockingly tone.
No, I know.
And I couldn't disagree more. It personally, it makes me upset because I think that these women, are playing at such a high level, and to just disregard them they're girls. It's just dumb.
Well, women's sports...
It's ridiculous.
Women's sports gets a bad rap because of what the WNBA is. But the WNBA is a joke. And it's nothing against the athletes that are playing in the WNBA. It's the fact that they wanted to equalize the NBA, to see what they can do. And it's been a colossal failure. You know what I mean? The marketing has been bad. It's just a disaster. Those women are remarkably talented athletes.
Oh, they're great.
If you watch women's basketball at the college level, they're very talented. At Illinois State, the women's team could play circles around the men's team.
I believe it.
And it's just one of those things. It's not fair to mock what women athletes can do because in a lot of different ways, a woman athlete could do more than a male athlete can. And this is a man saying this, you know what I mean?
Totally agreed.
Absolutely.
I could go on all podcasts talking about this.
So can we. But we are just about out of time for this week. How do you feel, man?
I feel really good about this week. We had a real great conversation about baseball. And then, I feel good, touching upon soccer again. This is a shout out for my buddy Mike Madera. I know that he loved it when I talked about the Women's World Cup past week. So, I felt obliged to go and talk about the Fire.
We have our own sound system here now. We have everything going. We have a following on Facebook. We have a following on Twitter. Our website's going to be up very soon for our networking. This ball's rolling now, and it's good to have that.
It is, and it's very exciting. We've had a very good response from our inner circle of friends, and I'm really looking forward to branching out a little bit, getting a little marketing going out on the streets, and see where this can take us.
But the one thing that I've learned is when something's going well, you just got to keep doing what you're doing. Don't change anything. Don't lay back. We got to keep doing what we're doing. But I'm loving what we're doing, so let's just keep it going, my friend.
I agree. Don't fix it if it's not broken.
Check us out on our website, WCSportsTalk.com. May not be ready, but it will be during the course of the week. Check us out on Facebook, Windy City Sports Talk, Twitter, WC Sports Talk, Tumblr, WCSportsTalk.tumblr.com, Flickr, you name it. We have a network for it. This will be on YouTube. This will be on iTunes by the end of the week. Any last words, my friend?
Adios, compadres.
That sounds good to me. We'll see you next week on Saturday. Remember, we're going to be coming up early. Goodbye and take care, everybody.